Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's happening, people? Thank you for joining me today. You know this is Influence, and today I got MP-47 Hound here. He is not a new figure, but hey, I get figures when I get figures. This review sponsored by Mozcast. Visit Mozcast where they discuss all things collectible. First, you got the card. Let's look at the card. Card's pretty good. Stock feels a little less great. You got the box, a little bit going on the back that can go to the side. And now you get the accessories. It comes with a number of accessories. First, you get extra mirrors, just in case you break them, which they are a little flimsy, the mirrors. Not super flimsy, but not, you could break it. Hey, you get 2 extra faces. Here we go with these. You got they're pretty well painted. Eyes are pretty well painted. You got like a little half smile and a little yell. Get the key. The key is, as you know, in that one episode when he locked up Ravage in the cage, and just got a key. Doesn't do anything. You can just hold it, put it on his thumb or whatever. Let me see if I can get it on there. There it is. On his thumb. Just hanging out. This, which is like the cover, like the Jeep cover, and it has spots where you can keep all the extra stuff. I think the gas can, the extra tire, and the guns can go in here somehow. And we may look at that later. And you get 2 figures. You get the hologram Daniel, I think, or Spike. I can't remember. I think Daniel. And you get this deformed looking Slender Man Daniel, I believe. His legs are like, his proportions are super crazy. I guess to fit in the Jeep, because when he's like this, it's not as bad, and he fits in there and his feet go all the way down. But he does have some great articulation. He can go all the way around. He has an elbow. His head moves. See if you can see that. His face is scary. That's the stuff of nightmares. His legs. And no ankle rocker. So we got that. The materials, of course. Let's get to this. Also, you have his gun, which is like the, I guess, the hologram gun. And you get this little cone peg, great peg. The gun is in there as great as it can be, but it does stay in there once you get it in and get his hands wrapped around. Let me see. The elbows and everything are pretty strong, so he can hold it. He can hold it out like this with the cone in. So that's great. Actually starting in robot mode, which he comes in Jeep mode. You know, I usually do it the way he comes or the way the figure comes. But since I'm doing both ways now, where at the end I will transform it. I'm going to transform it into the alt mode during the review. And then at the end of the review, I'm going to transform it from alt mode back into robot mode. So if by any chance, if somebody needs it, and I will have chapters in the video. He also has this, but this stays on, which I kind of like. I like when they do that, the extra accessories. There's a lot of stuff going on right here. Actually has his visor down right now, which just to do that, just wanted to show that off, but to get that up and take it up a little bit to get away from his face, then pull it up. Everything's tight on this guy, then you push it up in there and push his helmet back down. Now, I know when this figure first came out, there was a lot of problems because of the way the neck is. There's no real joint. In person, it doesn't look as bad to me because it stays flush. It's flush on there. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible, and you get all of this. When you're moving it, it does come up, but once you get it into a pose, like say his neck, we'll go through articulation, but his neck moves back and forth. So once you get it in a pose, it doesn't matter, really. I know I didn't like that at all, but I still wish there was, say, maybe a flip up peg or something. I don't know what they could have done to make this clean, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't look bad in person. So there's that. We have this guy. Let's go through and do comparisons first. So the first one I have is actually Mirage. And that's TE's Mirage. Put them in the middle of the frame. And you can see they go great together. I think I actually like this better. I don't know. I like Make Toys. I'm going to do a comparison video, so I'm not going to compare him now, but I'm going to do a comparison video between him and Make Toys, which I got a little while ago, that I really like because it's real world mixed. But I definitely think he is much more cartoon accurate, a little bit better proportions if you like that cartoon accuracy. Also, let me bring in Ravage, since he's gonna fight Ravage and he locks him in the cage. I definitely think MMC they were on to something with the tapes. The only ones I didn't like was Laserbeak and Buzzsaw, just because I think they're too big. But the rest of the tapes, I think they scale well with Masterpiece. So you have Ravage, and I think that scales great together. So his head goes side to side. It goes down that much. It goes up a little bit, and it spins around, I think 360. It does hit back here a little. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to spin 360 because it's hitting right here. You may be able to get, no, you can't really get it. So that's articulation is a little limited in his head. He can turn that way, he can turn that way. That could be an issue. This articulates all the way this way. You can actually get it unpegged and it goes back, articulation. And it can go up about that far and straight. So you can have it up like that or straight like that. And this stuff doesn't really do anything except when it transforms. You get the arms all the way around. It's not on double jointed elbows, but the way the elbow is, it does. Wait, let me make sure it's not on double jointed. It actually is on double jointed elbows, which is why you get the double more than 90 degrees. You can go up, back up a little bit, go up about that far, go down. Has a bicep swivel, and he has a swivel at the bottom of the arm also. Same for over here. His hands, his hands go out like that. They spin around, and they have 3 fingers on one knuckle. The pointer finger is like the trigger finger, I guess. These hands are tight, so it goes out like that, but the hands stay like this. And then the thumb is on a little hinge, so you can get that movement. I like the way the hands look. The only gripe I have with the hands is the fact that they will go in while you're manipulating, because there's not like really, like the old school G1 would probably have a thing here that you pull the hands out and it clicks. But to make it clean, it doesn't have that. He has a waist swivel. That gets you all the way around. He has side skirts that go up and individual front skirts. I believe they're super tight, I think. Don't move, but they move individual with the actual leg movement. So that's kind of cool. They get, you can leave that down. They do seem to, let me move this up, see if I can get more. Yeah, back seems to be limited. Front, you can get that far. You can get about that far in the back. I don't want to force it. Inside to side, get these skirts up. All the joints are super tight, but you get about that much with the splits, which ain't bad at all. You get a thigh swivel at the top here. You get the knee. Is it double jointed? I don't think so. It may be. You do get more than 90. So it may be either double jointed or just the way the knee is. You can move the knee, do the transformation. You can move it this way. But that's it. You get the rocker here. Get up, you get down, and you get a little rocker on the outside too if you need that. But the main one that you need is this, and that's pretty good. And the feet, of course, can move back and forth. Here's a 360. You see the back. Back is super clean. Everything's super clean on this guy. As far as I know, people had issues with the quality. I'm not seeing any quality issues. I don't know. I transformed this figure twice already, and I've seen some places where you got to be really careful because of the paint. But other than that, I haven't seen any crazy. Like the arms right here, and we'll get into that in a minute. They do pose a little issue when we're going up. Like it's pretty hard. You just got to hold it and go up. And I'll show that. We'll get into that. Let's get into transformation. First, we want to get this stuff together. Pull this like this. Pull this out here. And pull this way. Flip this down. Flip this back. Flip this in like that. And flip this up. Flip this there. So then you have it like that. I flip this up. Move this down like, pull this window up and move this down like this. Then you can flip this around. This may be an issue. It is kind of tight on this joint right here. So just be careful when you're moving it around. I'm not sure if that's a ball joint or if that's I don't know what kind of joint that is. So just be mindful of that. So then we're gonna pull these out, pull these up. We're just trying to get it situated. Flip this around, push this up for now. I'm gonna leave it like that because I'm just trying to get stuff out and cleaned up. Well, not cleaned up, but where it needs to be. So leave that like that for now. These wheels are tabbed in there. So you got to move it out a little bit. Don't do it hard. Then this comes all the way up. Then that right there. You can bring that up like that. Pull these wheels out. Final position. And there you go. Now you want to get these arms together. Fold these in. You can actually do this before you do everything else if you wanted to. Push that in like that. Fold these in. Push this in like that. And then here's where the arm is kind of tight and kind of hard. So you want to pull this out, but be careful. You move this just to get it out your way. And that came out way easier than going. And maybe because it was the first time, I don't know, but you got to get this over top of this, which I will show in the transformation back. This way and that way. When you're going this way, it feels like it puts a lot of stress on this little tiny piece. That's why you just got to be careful. Hold this piece and hold this. And these are all thin pieces. And I can see possibly maybe that's where people were having an issue with breakage. I don't know. Now you're going to pull these down just so you don't forget. They're kind of pegged in together, but they just move like this. Just go down here. And they come together like that. They're fine. They just sit like that. Come under here. Flip these up. Flip these up. And you can get these together. You can push this up like this. And it kind of goes in this around all the way. And you just maneuver this like this. You want this in here like this. Kind of flush. Over here is the same way from this angle. Gets tricky. Try to get it like that. And then push this up in here like this. And they sit like right there in there. Move this down a little bit. Then right here, this goes into here. Like that. This goes into here like this. It kind of snaps in. Now all of this right here, spin around like that. And then this goes up in here like this. So it's easier to go this way. You want to move the legs in like that. Then move this like this. Then you got room to work with this. Kind of push this down because it like comes around there. Then pull this up. Pegs in there. Then you can move this in like that. It goes up there. Move this up. Then you can get this out of here. Move this tire like this. Move it down. Pull this out. Pull this like that. Push this in there. So then you have this like this. It's pegged on right there. You want to pull that peg out graciously. And it's pegged on right there. That hole. Just want to flip that up. Then pull this up a little bit. And then get this down. Then you want to pull this back like this. And this comes up. You can see the gun. The gun does peg in. You can leave it off if you want. But just for the sake of transformation as they intended, I leave it on. But it's almost going to fall off probably, more than likely. So you move that out like that, and then it goes around to the top over here. It's on a double hinge. This part spins around and this part stays like kind of where it's at. So you just want to spin it around. I don't know if you can see that. Like this part is spinning. See how that's together like that? Then the seat part can go through here, and you can bring this down about like that. And this in here stays in here. Then when you're trying to bring this up, you got to make sure this goes over top of this. Can get a little tricky, especially coming the other way. Then you're like that, and you see this will fall off, and it does fall off. You can just push this. I didn't realize it's really tight, but you can just push that to get that out. And then I'll put this back, but it's gonna probably come off again. Then you just unfold this, turn around, and there's the gun. It's not a great tab, and I'm sure they wanted to leave it on there, but they wanted to give you the option to take it off. So again, over here, move that in like that, move this out kind of, so you can get the stuff together. Push this down, move this up, pegged in right there, just like the other one. Move this up like that, push this up. You can get the tire out the way, out the leg. So then I just do it right now. Then move it down and out. You can move this and get this together. Tire like folds in half to fit in there. I think that's great engineering. You know what? I actually believe it wouldn't go right. It didn't make much difference, but I don't know. It may later, because I see that little tab. So you got to fold that out like that. Maybe it just, oh yeah, it does. It makes the wheel a little better. It didn't really do much, but that gives a little better fit around there. So I was bending it. It wouldn't work at first. Like, it didn't seem like it went that way all the way up. I didn't want to break it, but we can see that it works. Now these legs are kind of complicated, but once you get them, you get them. Again, just like the other one, it's pegged on there. You want to do it very delicately, because this is very flimsy and little. And then this is the same way. Fold that down. Now this is a little different because it's the spare tire that's on there. So you want to pull that out and keep it out like that. And then you want to do the same thing over here with this. This is a little less tight. So you want to flip it around until the lines are at the top, just like this. Really, it's not the top, but you know what I'm saying. And you flip this through the seat. Then the seat can be pushed up, and push this up to get the seat, the headrest. Now you can move this down. You see, this one was a little bit better. It could be how I have this. Who knows what rhyme or reason is behind it, and kind of put that in that little peg back there, and this will tab in back here. All this stuff, make sure it's pretty straight. His legs and stuff. Just this correctly. I had it like this. All this was right. Like just bring this down. But when you adjust this, you got to adjust it so the missile is pointing that way. Like if you have it like this and the missile's pointing back, it's not correct. So you want to adjust it this way and then move this armature out and adjust this down like this. And this armature is like that, where it's sticking out a tiny bit, and then you can push this down. Now you thread this goes in between here and these two pieces peg on right there. So that's how it goes, and it'll then you can close these doors, and this will peg in here to extra, like keep it together. Couple pieces to clean up. Just flip this up like that, and then get the tire straight, put it back together. Man, that peg is a beast right there. So you got that. Let me put this back on here. Have the gun. And last but not least, the mirrors. Throw the mirrors up there like that. And here you go. Yeah, it looks the part. Looks great. The Jeep. It's cool. It's cool. You got like plastic. It's not, I don't think they're rubber. They're like plastic wheels. I know people sometimes don't like that, but the nature of the way it transforms, I guess to be uniform, they all had to be plastic. Bottom, you can kind of see just his legs. You can see on the wheels the pins on the back. So that's, that's something. You got this right here that you can put on. I know you can leave this on with it. Take that off for now. Put it on, put the window up. And there you go. Looks dumb to me, but it's something you can do. I don't think I ever seen him like that, and he would never be like that on my shelf. So it is. So this concludes the review of Hound MP-47, which is official masterpiece version. See the winch. So if you want to stick around, I'm going to transform it back into the robot for the people that need that sort of thing. So I know some people like to see it transformed both ways, and that's what I'm going to start doing. Here we go over here. Let me just get this correct. You can take this off, just bend it over like that, and then spin it around. Put it back on. Get these up and out. Get these up and out. Pry that off of there. Get this unplugged. Move it about. Then move this like this and like this. Got it. Got it. Then you can just move this out. Then you move this out and make sure you get the clearance on here. Move this up like that. You can move this seat back first, then push that through there, and you can get it like that. Then this, you want to make sure it's getting out of the way of that little peg, and this moves. And if you can see, it's on like the double hinge. Move it like that. Just leave it there for now. Move this in, then move this up. Then you want to move this piece out, move it down, and wrap it around here and peg it right there. Be careful because it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight piece. Right? For some reason it got out of sync again. You gotta make sure it's like that, and then you'll have enough clearance to get this over it and pegged in. There you go. And that's how the foot is somewhat. Pull this out. Pull this up. Flip this so you don't forget to do it. I mean, you won't really forget. You want to line the wheel up. Pull it out. Push it down. Then push the wheel in. Then get this one. Pull it a little bit and push it down. Now you can flip this down here and move this down here. That peg will go in there, and this clamp onto this piece. Clamps on like that. This is the front. So once that clamp doesn't work the greatest. Once you get it right, it does. And right here, it helps a lot. So then you can just move this this way. So that's the back. Then you move the foot where you need it to be, and then make it a little more flush with the body. You have a leg done. This is the same. Move this headrest back so you don't forget. Then move this out. Pull this up. My hands are in the way, so it's not focusing. This thing will come off like 20 times. But again, for the sake of transformation, I will show it on. Move it that way. Then you bend this in and bend this in. Sits flush in there. Then this sits like that. Gives it a little toe. You can move it up. Make sure this is still flush sitting. This down. Again, you got to make sure this is pegged all the way down, and it is. And then you can move this down like that. Move it over, and it can peg in right there. Get the leg, move the panel up, move this panel out. Again, align the legs so this section pushed down and pushed in, and then this section pull it out and push down. Pull this down here. Get it in and around there. Make sure it's tight in that joint. That joint is really the joint that holds it. This is just holds the flap, so it's not looking crazy. It's like that. How you know is these are on the inside. Then you can move this down to where you need it to be. Legs are done. This, I'm gonna move out a little bit. Then move these down here. You see that peg? It's soft pegs in there. So you gotta move them at the same time. Get them together like that. This little panel right here goes up like that. So all this stuff is out the way now. This right here, you want to pull it out. It is kind of hard. It doesn't feel like it's going to break, but it's hard to get out because you got to get this little piece over top of this. Then you can move it up there. Same for here. See that? How you got that piece over top of there. If you pull up on it as you're moving it, it's easier. Then you can move the fist. Move this around here, around here. This is where I talked about earlier. This little piece has to go over that notch. Maybe easier the second time. A little bit easier. Still kind of hard. I mean, you want it to be because it's like the arm joint. And then you can just move this around here like this. As you're moving all of this to get it anatomically correct, just be careful. Take your time. Then push this up here. It's supposed to go over top of that little notch, and there we go. Push these right here, push these up into the body. And you can move this like this. Push this down, move these, push that down. Just leave it like that for now. Forgot that step. Then you can do that and get those pegs into those wheels. There you go. Now you can move this into here. Like steering wheel down, then move this around. Keeps all that great. Now this, again, be careful. You want to spin it. I don't know what kind of joint that is, so I wouldn't do it too many times. It's probably the last time it'll be from vehicle to robot. Just up here like that. You know you got it right. The head's right in the center, looking right. Then you want to get all this stuff situated. So this has a little bar right there that stops it from going that way, so you know it's not that way. So you just want to move this out and then move this way. Move that bar, then move this bar, little notch there goes into there. Then you get this situated. Pull this little end of the rocket thing up. pull this down, move this rocket like this, pull the rocket up, little space fills in that space right there. Then pull the top of the rocket up. Almost there. Grab the hands. There you go. Grab the hands. And there you go. Think everything's good. And that's it. So there you have MP-47 Hound. If you enjoyed this review, let me know. Give me a like, subscribe, share, and I appreciate it. Thanks again. A lot more reviews coming of different things. Got some turtles stuff that'll be coming. Got some more Transformers, of course. Some officials, some MPs. So just stay tuned. Got some Kingdom also. I'll get up with you in another video.
Life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.